5 years ago, I made a decision to leave Google and a long career as an engineering executive in Silicon Valley. I did this to pursue a dream, a crazy dream, an idealistic dream, to find something more meaningful to do, where I could help make the world a better place. I got lucky. Today, at the Global Development Lab at USAID, I'm having a chance to do just that. At the lab, we're looking at ways that we can harness the power of technology and innovation to turbocharge this fight to end global poverty. Today, I want to take you on a journey, somewhere a bit different than Greenwich Village, New York, Lesbians Who Tech. I want to take you to the other side of the world, to Niger in Central Africa. This is Aishitao. Aishitao is a teenager living in rural Niger. In her lifetime, she can expect to have 7 children, 3 of which will be underweight. She has about a 15% chance of being literate, and she's unlikely to even finish primary school, if she goes at all. About 80% of people in Niger live in rural areas. Their land is among the least fertile in the world. Only 60% of them don't have access to clean water. A similar 60% live under the poverty line. Only 10% have access to electricity. And only 20% have a mobile phone. As you can tell, Aishitao is grasping even to meet her most basic needs. And as things stand, she and women like her have little hope of living fulfilled and meaningful lives. In recognition of these and other enormous challenges around the world and our responsibility to tackle them, last year, actually a year ago tomorrow, here in New York, 193 of the world's leaders came together to adopt this ambitious new agenda for the world called the Sustainable Development Goals, with a top-line goal of ending extreme poverty by 2030. One important factor in reaching that ambitious goal is technology. For women like Aishitao, having access to a mobile phone and the internet can open up a completely new world, making it possible for her to live a more empowered, meaningful, and prosperous life. So, how might that happen? Let me start with where things stand today and some of the challenges. How many of you know someone who doesn't have access to the internet? Wow, a few. Are they under 5 years old? Around the world, people don't have the kind of access that we do here. In Africa, only about a quarter of people have access to the internet. And it's much worse for women. In Africa, women are 43% less likely to be online than men. That's almost twice as many men accessing the internet than women. And if you think about the power of the internet to access information, to access markets, jobs, opportunities, this gender gap runs the risk of leaving women further and further behind. But there's also reason for hope. Technology is rapidly evolving around the world, including in developing countries, where new innovations are leapfrogging even what we have here in the United States. One emblematic example of this is mobile money. So there are still 2 billion people around the world who don't have access to financial services, and 20% fewer women have a bank account. Mobile money is starting to bridge that gap. Tanzania was a pioneer here, where Safaricom pioneered a service called M-Pesa The way it works is if you have a simple feature phone, you can transfer money from one person to another. This allows people to transfer money to family members who may be in different parts of the country, to pay their utility bills, or to pay for goods and services. Believe it or not, 3/4 of Kenyans have an M-Pesa account now, and it's estimated about 50% of the GDP runs through M-Pesa. And this is just the start. When you have a platform like mobile money and you start having an account like this, it means that you can start accessing other services like secure savings, small loans, even insurance. These kinds of tools are helping people access financial services that can help them manage their financial lives for the first time. Let's go over now to India, where over 1 billion people, yes, 1 billion people, now have digital IDs provided by a new system called Aadhaar in India. They take your photo, an iris scan, and your fingerprints. And what this means is that millions, 1 billion people who previously didn't have a formal identity in their country now have an identity. Previously, they might not have even had a birth certificate. This is revolutionary for people. It means they can access government services, vote, become a real citizen in their society. And you might think a system like this, getting 1 billion people onto digital IDs would be incredibly expensive. It is. But it's actually paid for itself already. The government converted one subsidy they offer to all citizens for liquid petroleum gas to using Aadhaar to provide identity. When they did so, they were able to close 24% of the accounts, 24%, that were previously fraudulent ghost accounts. And as a result, saved over $2 billion. So these kinds of people around the world are excited about these kinds of digital ID systems and the potential. And so they're starting to roll out around the world. The advent of these kinds of digital services also mean the potential for new jobs for women to become agents, to cash in and cash out, to be able to help people transfer money, to pay their utility bills, to sell insurance, and increase their incomes. Information services are also helping women improve their health. For example, services like Mobile Mama, which operates in Bangladesh, India, and Nigeria, are providing women who are pregnant with potentially life-saving information on how to better take care of themselves, what kind of danger signs to look for, and how to access medical services. For the 70% of the global poor who live in rural areas, services like Isoko are providing farmers with information about how to use better farming techniques to improve their yields, to predict weather so that they know when to plant and when to sow, and to be able to get access to market information so that they can know when and where to sell. Technology platforms like mobile money are also enabling new business models. For people who are living in rural areas off the electric grid, the best way for them to get energy is usually solar power. But these families are often too poor to be able to afford the home solar systems up front. A company called Off Grid Electric has come up with a new business model using mobile money to allow these families to pay off their home solar systems for a few cents a day over time, often for less than the cost than they were paying for kerosene. This means that Off Grid makes a profit and can plow that profit back into serving more customers. Today, they've reached 100,000 families and are aiming to reach 1 million by the end of next year. As technology continues to open new doors, the possibilities for women like Aishitu will continue to expand. Technology means freedom. freedom to access information, markets, and people. Technology can offer women a path out of poverty and an opportunity to step into their full potential. Thank you.